Right, how we doing, everyone? Hope we're all good. Here we go again. It's Saturday. It's the 14th of December, 2024, and it's Steve here from Weather Focus. And I thought, we just come back every couple of days and just really have a bit of a chat about the weather, not just for Kent, but for England, Wales, Scotland, and Northern Ireland. You may have noticed that I'm not doing all the charts and bits and pieces this year. Be quite honest, there's so many people out there doing these sorts of things, so many sort of like different sort of sites providing brilliant information that I thought, do you know what? What I don't see enough is actually people just sitting and having a chat. So my job is really just to take a look at the charts, the analysis, really just have a chat about it. Now, it's an interactive site. What I would like to do with this is kind of open this up to everyone. So, we'll have a chat. We'll sort of, I'd like to get your opinion, sort of, weather patterns coming up. Are we going to get a white Christmas? What is the long term signals? All that sort of stuff. So, let's move it all along because we are going to just, first of all, sort of talk about the here and now. Then we're going to talk about the weather patterns that certainly I've picked up or I'm looking at in the charts tonight that go into making the weather forecast. Basically, it's just good just to share it with all of you. So, yeah, as I say, this suck it and see and see how we get on with it. Well, down here in Kent today, the sun actually come out, and I think that was the first time that the sun has shone since probably last Saturday. So it's virtually a full week. Obviously, we had Storm Dara last weekend. That pushed out of the way. Then we've had this area of high pressure that's settled across the country over the course of the week. And we started the week with quite a strong northeasterly feed down here across the south and many parts of England and Wales. As the week's gone on, that high pressure, it's settled down over us. And obviously, there was a lot of cloud trapped under that high pressure. And I think if you'd listened to my forecast a couple of days ago, I said, that at this time of year, the sun doesn't burn that cloud off. It's very stagnant. It just got colder and colder. In fact, yesterday, many parts of southern Britain saw temperatures of high of just 3 degrees. So actually, that's probably the coldest sort of day we've had so far this winter, though the upper air, it was actually quite a bit warmer because we are under high pressure. It's called faux cold. If you go on the old weather forums, you might hear the word faux cold. That's spelled FAUX. Basically, that is fake cold, and that means you've got high pressure, you've got warmer air aloft, you've got cold air at the surface, which does mean that if cloud come over, precipitation was to fall, it would actually still fall as rain because it is milder aloft. But that's the story. And back to here and now, as I say, high pressure's been sort of like in control, but it is now starting to move to the south of the UK, and things have started. Well, a bit brighter today, but yeah, things have started to turn quite a bit milder out there at the moment across the UK. Temperatures generally in the range 6 to 8. I've noticed there's like some 10s and 11s out towards the far west of the country, Balmullet, Tyree, places like that. And that milder air will be pushing in, I think, over the course of the next few hours, overnight and into tomorrow, and certainly for the first 2 or 3 days this week as well. It's quite chilly down here in the south at the moment. Temperatures are around about 3 degrees in some spots because we've got those clear skies and a fantastic moon out there. Full moon tonight. Some beautiful stratocumulus making for some really good photography if that's your bag. So really tomorrow it's a cloudier day. We've got this westerly flow, as I mentioned. It's getting milder. Temperatures tomorrow probably in the range of around about 10 to 12 degrees across most parts of the country. Essentially dry, but towards the north of Scotland, you're closer to these weather systems, closer to these fronts. I think tomorrow, probably across Scotland, across the western parts of the UK, you'll be bringing in some patchy sort of mist and drizzle at times. And really, that's the story for Monday as well. That area of high pressure keeps many parts of England, Wales, sort of eastern parts of Scotland, etc., fairly dry, relatively mild still, temperatures up to around about 10, 12 degrees. But because this air mass is coming up from the southwest, it's picking up a lot of moisture. It's a long fetch southwesterly. It's of tropical maritime air mass. So what it'll do, it'll pick up moisture, and as that moves across the UK, picks up those western slopes, and that's where you're going to get your orographic drizzle. And I said across parts of western Scotland, the Highlands and the islands, you'll be picking up most of that rain again on sort of Monday. We move into Tuesday. That area of high pressure that's keeping most of us dry Sunday and Monday will be pushing away into Europe. That's starting to open the door to more Atlantic weather systems. So on Tuesday, It's going to be dry across many parts of sort of England and the eastern half of the UK. But what will be happening in fronts will be pushing in throughout the course of the day across Ireland, across Wales, across the west, and that will slowly but surely be moving eastwards throughout the course of the latter half of Tuesday. So by the end of Tuesday, I would have thought that most of us would be seeing sort of some outbreaks of rain pushing in from the west. Breezier, southwesterly breezes by that stage. Temperatures still very, very mild, peaking at around about sort of that 10 to 12 degree mark. By the time we get to Wednesday, low pressure's well in control again. A windy day on Wednesday for most parts of the UK. Very mild temperatures. We could be starting at around about 12, 13 degrees, 13 to 55 degrees across many parts of the UK in that, as I've mentioned, that southwesterly air mass. But what will happen is later on in the day, a cold front will start to push down, just turning things fresher and cooler from the west. So I think, yeah, very mild start, but gradually turning fresher. And that rain will be replaced by showers later on in the day. Right, Thursday, the 19th. Keep this date in mind. If you'd listened to my last forecast, I was keeping an eye on potentially a named storm. I know it's all a long way off, but that low pressure system, it's still being shown in a fair few of the models on Thursday. Quite a deep area of low pressure, a rapidly deepening area of low pressure. I've noticed some of the models bringing this down to 900 and sort of 68, 970 millibars, and it's likely that it's going to come across the north of Scotland and down across the southern North Sea. It's going to introduce some very strong gale force northwesterly breezes in its wake. So I think at the moment it's probably fair to say places like Scotland, the northeast of England, the north of Britain are going to be probably sort of bearing the most sort of the brunt of these winds. Hard to tell at the moment how this is going to intensify, but at the moment, if I was in the north of Britain and I'm looking at Thursday the 19th, just look out for a very potentially very windy day with some rain and showers, and it will be turning cooler in its wake. So once this low pressure moves out of the way, wherever it goes, by Friday we're in a much colder northwesterly air mass. And I've noticed that the 850s with this are widely -5. I think it's fair to say that we're going to get a bit of a cold shot after this low pressure pushes out of the way. So I think Friday is the order of day is sunshine and showers. Wintry over northern hills, potentially parts of central Britain as well, and Wales, and possibly to lower ground further north. It's all fairly transitory because what will then happen is we're in this kind of zonal pattern where you get a ridge, a trough, ridge trough. So I'm probably expecting that by the time we get to Friday be that cold day, that sunny day with wintry showers around your favoured western coast. By the time we get to Saturday, that high pressure would have settled down. So I think we'll all start fairly frosty next Saturday. So what's next Saturday? The 21st of December. The next weather system will be pushing in from the west, and that will be pushing into some residual cold air. So again, there's just a chance next Saturday, as we bring in those Atlantic weather fronts, we start to sort of just for a time bring in some sleet or snow on the leading edge. So yeah, even in these mild winter patterns, you can still get these brief transitory wintry events. Right, as we move towards Christmas, I think it's probably fair to say that the mobile theme does keep on going. There's a little bit of a sort of discrepancy between some of the models. Some of the models are really just keeping this zonal flow going, mild southwesterlies interspersed with cooler northwesterlies in its wake. But I've just noticed just one or two model runs just leading up to Christmas, Christmas Eve, another one of these low pressure systems showing its hand moving down the North Sea. And rather than going into Scandinavia and keeping us in this then westerly pattern, one or two of them are just starting to bring this area of low pressure down towards the low countries. And although high pressure wants to settle down across the UK, it's settling further north. And this is just bringing in a colder northeasterly or easterly flow. Now, it's a very low chance that we'll get this cold air, but it's all about timing. And if, for example, we're in this northeasterly feed, if those uppers are cold enough, and if it is Christmas Day, then well, there you go. It's a rare beast at the best of times, and even rarer beast to get snow these days on Christmas Day. In fact, I think the last last widespread snow event where it was laying and falling down here in Kent, 1970. I was 1 years old. So do the maths, you can work out how young I am. So that's it in a nutshell. Mild, unsettled. Keep an eye out for that potential wind event, potential name storm on Thursday the 19th. And then just in that lead up to Christmas, let's just see where these low pressure systems go. Yeah, I'm expecting a mild Christmas, a potentially very mild Christmas, but we are still 11 days away. And so the chances are still there. So, yeah, keep in touch. I'll probably be back in a couple of days anyway, but I hope you've all found this forecast quite useful. Please let me know what you think. Do you think we're in with a chance of a white Christmas? Do you think that it is just going to be the north? Is it going to be just a bit of a fly in the ointment for the south as well? Let me know when the last time you had some snow on the ground or falling on Christmas Day. I'll look forward to speaking to you in a couple of days. Until then, ciao for now.